It's Kristen in the Morning Rush right here on 93.1 Jamz. We are live out at the world's largest BRAT Fest on Willow Island. Oh, yes, honey. BRAT Fest is happening.
Woo! Super excited about this. Still super happy. And sitting right next to me is the performer of the first ever hip-hop artist on the grand stage at BRAT Fest. We have Rip. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Woo! Rip, let me tell you, my man, I am so stoked that you are here today. You know, I saw you last year on the main stage, and you have a huge following, and I'm just a huge fan of yours. But it's just an honor that you are here today because you have something outstanding happening tomorrow. But before we get that, I just want to talk to you in general about this journey. I mean, you're a guy that grew up in Waukegan. You were the middle child of, like, your brothers. You had a single mom. She used to, get home. You kids would get home from school. She would go to work from, like, 4 to midnight and do her thing. And you were, like, you found music. You're like,
yeah.
I want to find myself a voice, and that's how you did it. So tell us a little bit about how this journey of music got you.
First of all, I'm very impressed. You did your homework.
Yes, honey. Yes.
That's very impressive. But yeah, I grew up, Waukegan, Illinois. It's there's not a lot of opportunity there, actually, and it's just kind of one of them. It's one of them things. I had a passion and love for music in my heart. Like, for some reason, when I was a very young kid, I knew it was my calling, my destiny, my mission in life. And so I followed that no matter what people said. When people said after high school I had to go off into, college and pursue higher education, all those societal pressures, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never followed those because I knew in my heart my calling was music. Yeah. And so I followed that. And for a long time, I never had support, even from family for a long time. I had to, like, I just had to go out and do things on my own and prove myself and kind of invest in myself for people to take me serious. So it's just kind of been a long journey. I mentioned, right after high school, I didn't pursue higher education. I got into music. Like, I literally started my record label, Rip Records. I just celebrated the 18th year, 18th year back in March. I started it while I was still in high school. In March 2000, I launched rip-records.com, and it's still up to this day. So that's almost 20 years I've been doing music since my teen years.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty, a lot of people have followed you and, your journey, and then you come to Madison and you start doing your thing. And you have quite the background here. I mean, we're talking about, you're not only an award-winning recording artist, you're also a producer, you're a filmmaker, you're also a DJ. Your label is Island Def Jam. And I'll tell you, watching your videos, they're outstanding. Your music videos are like, where do you come up with these ideas?
Thank you. Well, first of all, my second album, Sella, was the last album that was released digitally by Island Def Jam. That was the digital distribution deal. And so since that album, it's no longer, but I'm independent now.
Good for you.
But my videos, I don't know. I always had a love and a passion for the filmmaking. My uncle was, when I was a kid, I was walking around with his camcorder, so I was always fascinated by it. You know what I mean? I always wanted to be in front of the camera, and I was always intrigued by the filmmaking process. But back in the 90s, just things weren't easily available and readily accessible and just affordable, like they are on a consumer level now. So I kind of pushed that to the background for a while, and now so I started getting into music because things were a lot more attainable as far as that. Like, I started teaching my things in my bedroom when I was like a teenager, and it was just a lot easier to pursue music at that point. So I started making music, and then when filmmaking tools started becoming more easily available and affordable, that's when I started picking it back up, and my love for filmmaking kind of translated into me producing and directing all my own music videos. So I just kind of get visions for my videos. A lot of times, the funny thing is, I have these music videos done, produced, and edited in my head before I even write and record the song.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of a backwards process. I kind of have it envisioned in my head, and I do the videos first in my head, and then I write the song, and then I record the song, and then maybe months or sometimes years on the road, that vision will finally come to life in video form.
Where's the craziest where's the craziest place that you've got an idea for a song or a video? Like, where were you at one time where you, like, the weirdest place where you've got an idea for a song or a video?
I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Stuff just pops into my head. I mean, I've probably been, like, taking a shower or, like, laying in bed, and it'll just, like, hit me, and I'm like, that's dope. Like, it just randomly hits me.
Then you run with it.
I run with it.
Awesome.
I mean, there's some videos, like my last video, Satisfied, that I just put out. Like, I had that concept in my head for years.
Can we touch on that, by the way? This is off your latest album, Trinity, which, by the way, this is a very personal album for you.
Very.
You're talking about struggle. You're talking about addiction. You're talking about faith. And I was watching the Satisfied video, and I was seeing kind of like, I'm seeing it's like a dark world almost, and there's temptation. Tell us about that.
That's pretty much the whole theme of my album. If you listen to every song on my album, a lot of it is dealing with the darkness, the temptations that, sin in life and all these things that kind of like drag us down and culminate like depression and just this heavy dark feeling, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of what my last video was. It was like taking place in the labyrinth, and it's kind of like you're stuck in all these you're stuck in this dark labyrinth, and you keep hitting these dead ends, you know what I mean? Whether like chasing money, fame, women, like drugs, alcohol, material things. And it's like, it's kind of what I experienced in my real waking life is I kept hitting these dead ends that left me just unsatisfied.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then finally, at the end, you reach the light at the end of the tunnel and everything. And, I found a lot of purpose and a lot of answers and a lot of just things in life that I've been searching for my whole life. I just literally just been starting to realize and figure those out in the last couple of years of my life. So I've been the last couple of years of my life have kind of been crazy. Like my previous albums, my first two albums, Fashionably Late and Sellout, were like very like poppy, like bright, like feel good kind of music. And then Trinity kind of goes to a more dark, gritty kind of sound. And it just finally deals with a lot of things. I mean, I even come out with things on this album that I've never even talked about in my almost 20-year music career. You know what I mean? Like I bring to light. So it's just kind of me releasing all those compounded things that have been pent up and, unresolved childhood issues and all these things that I just kind of reached that point in my life where it was time to start facing, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's really cool that, you bring your real life experiences into your music like that, because there's a lot of people that go through a lot of real life struggles, like as you were saying, and those walls that they hit and things like that. And it's nice to have music that you can listen to and relate to and kind of vibe out to with that. So that's awesome that you can
I
do
always
that.
thought the real music was music that kind of captivated me, the stuff that talks about things that I could just relate to. I mean, why do you think Eminem was so big with white America? Because like a lot of those kids are going through those same exact things.
Yeah,
He just kind of captured those people feeling those emotions that he was.
I know I Facebooked you yesterday. I'm obsessed with the song Drown. And the reason why, it's a beautiful song, but the video, me personally, and I know a lot of people have struggled with the concept, you know what, I can't go on any longer.
Right.
I don't want to go on any longer. And to watch how you're on the boat in the water and you feel like you want to let go, and then Jesus comes in. I mean, this is what this album's about, your faith. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've always had faith my whole life, but it was kind of one of those things where when I was a teenager, I kind of had that mentality like I know what I wanted to do with my life. Like I could do it better. I don't need any help or I don't need any guidance. So it was kind of one of those things when I just kind of ran rampant for like many years. Like I'm gonna do things my way or the highway. Like and it was kind of one of those things. Like I said a couple years ago, I reached a breaking point in my life where I literally found myself in my room, like I talk about on my lyrics. Like I literally found myself in my room on my knees in tears, like because it's just the pain has been compounded for so many years, and I finally reached that that breaking point, the hay that broke the camel's back. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I was literally like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when I started facing a lot of unresolved childhood issues like struggles, addictions, and things like that. And so that's kind of why the album has the tone and theme that it does, because that's me kind of coming back to my faith and like needing somebody, because I tried my whole life to do it on my own, and it's finally needing somebody, a savior and somebody to help me out and like save me, because like really it was just I tried for so long doing things on my own and I couldn't, and I just reached that breaking point.
Love that. Also love the fact that my man considered for 5 Grammys this past year.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
How's that feel, man? That's like national spotlight. How's that feel?
That's crazy. One of my childhood dreams was to always win a Grammy. If I'll ever get nominated or actually win one, I don't know what God has planned for me, but that was an awesome experience. I went to New York to celebrate the 60th annual Grammy Awards. My brother and I, we went out there in January. Awesome experience. It's just kind of crazy to know that your name is on the ballot with all these huge names. You know what I mean? Like that in itself to me is like a huge accomplishment. Whether I ever get nominated or win one or not, like that in itself was just an awesome experience.
All right, real quick, New York or Chicago?
Come on now.
I know.
How you going to ask an Illinois boy, New York or Chicago?
That's
Are you talking about pizza or just
Yes,
a city?
honey. I know that was your big thing when you were in New York.
hands down, Chicago deep dish pizza will win every day.
There we go.
I love
There
it.
it is.
All day, every day.
All right, so here we go, the meat of it as well. So again, not only are you winner of 5 Madison Hip Hop Awards, tomorrow is a big deal for you. You are going to Grace's Grand Stage at 5 o'clock with the first ever hip hop set. Tell us about this.
Ever.
I'm just excited. You know what I mean? I came to Madison about 10 years ago. Well, I've been living here almost about 8 years. And, you know, you always hear about BRAT FEST, and it was always one of my dreams to, you know, play here. And then, you know, I had my first show maybe in 2012, like under one of the tents. You know, maybe there was a couple people there. I gained some new fans, but that was awesome. And then they brought me out to the main stage last year, which was awesome. And then it's just kind of one of those things as you continue to progress in your career, you know, people take note. And then my guy, Michael Alexander, the one who books all the bands here, I mean, he took note and he saw me doing, you know, just doing what I'm doing. And he invited me out to the grand stage this year. And I'm to this day, I'm still in shock. Like, it's a huge blessing. Like, I'm honored. Like, it's awesome to be playing, like, the biggest stage at BRAT FEST. Like, have your name on the bill, like, you know, your face and your name on the website and on the bill on the grand stage as, like, one of the top performers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely deserve it, my man. Absolutely,
thank you.
hands down. As I said, me and
Big
Krista, you know, we were doing, we both watched the videos, and I was like, Krista, this guy, he knows what's up. Like, it's something different that a lot of, you know the music that's out nowadays.
Yeah.
You know how it all has that same kind
Sound
of,
and yeah.
it has the same kind of sound, same kind of ideas and things like that. It's really hard to make music that's real and to get into your feelings and broadcast it to the world and let people get in touch with your feelings to help them get through their struggles. So that's amazing. We are honored to have you on air with us and to have you on stage.
Well, I got to say, I'm honored myself. It's huge to have love and support from a local station, and I love and appreciate you guys. So thank
Absolutely,
you.
man.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And I just want to give some love to your boys right here, Riley and Peyton, who are also your background singers. These guys are young. Like,
You guys want to say hey on the air really quick?
Say what up, guys.
What's up? Yeah.
I love it. So we'll see you guys out tomorrow as well.
This is Peyton and Riley Kane. They're also known as Kane, the band Kane. They're kind of my proteges. I'm taking them under my wings. These kids are 16 years old. Their parents are right over there. They literally pulled them out of school to come here, and we're going to rehearse after this too. These guys are awesome. I'm telling you, they have an awesome voice. We collaborated on a new song that we're debuting on my set tomorrow. And they're also going to be, unfortunately, some of the original singers on the album couldn't make it to the show. Some are in California, and some, have other obligations. But these guys, I took them under my wings. They stepped up to the plate. They awesome voices. These kids are seriously the future. I'm gonna start working on them, and we're actually gonna record some more songs and videos of them this summer and release them throughout the year. So
awesome.
Wanakee High School students right here. Woo-hoo! Prince Charming, Mr. Riley, and we got Peyton Kane over here. Kane Brothers, also known as Kane, Kane. Check them out on Instagram. These guys are coming up. I'm taking them under my wings.
Awesome. You want to plug your socials really quick, man?
Yeah.
Them or
it's you?
All of
You, Rip.
You, Rip.
Go ahead, go.
Instagram is the band Kane. The band Kane, no space, no caps.
So the band Kane for these guys. For me, you can find me at Who Is Rip pretty much anywhere. Whoisrip.com. I'm Who Is Rip on Snapchat. Who Is Rip on Twitter. Who Is Rip on Instagram. And then on Facebook, you'll find me facebook.com/Rip Music. And then YouTube, Rip Records. And I got all my music videos up on there that we were talking about. But if you can't remember all those, just go to whoisrip.com. I have all my social media links up on there.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to miss out on this. You need to come out once again tomorrow at BRAT FEST. Rip will be on the grand stage along with his boys doing their thing. We're super excited for you, Rip. We will be here supporting you tomorrow.
Yes.
And thanks so much for coming on air today.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely.
It's Krista in the Morning Rush, once again broadcasting live at Willow Island on 93.1 Jamz. Woo! That's a wrap.
Thank you guys.
Oh, man,
I seriously
thank you.
appreciate you guys.
No,
Probably had a little bit of diarrhea in the mouth or something there.
You did great.
Going out, but I mean,
Let's get a picture, okay?
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for showing us
It's like you've been on radio before, man.
I mean,
Yeah, Thanks, love.